Welcome everyone. This is Hojang Kim from Kim Coaching Group. Recently, I had the privilege to be a panelist at the Career Talk at Stanford University Physics Department with another 4 amazing panelists. It was really interesting to hear everybody's experiences and wisdom, and also very engaging and deep questions from the students. And I'd like to share a few of the highlight discussions we did with you today. First question was, how do you move to other industry after you invested so much time and effort and money into this current field? Most of the panelists share the same answer, that focus on the future, not to the past. If you focus on the past, the sunken cost of how many years of effort and how much money for tuitions and all that you invested, and assuming actually changing industry is the right choice for you, then it'll just make it harder for you to live. And that means over time, you invest more time and more effort and more money and make it harder and harder to live. But the question is it really the right time to leave to another field, or is it just something that you have like curiosity, but you should stay in this field? That depends on your curiosity and excitement level. So if you are having fun, you enjoyed a lot, hopefully, but you don't feel excitement anymore, you don't have joy anymore, you don't have anything you're curious to learn more or you want to test it out, but you feel that kind of desire in other field, like you have curiosity, you have want to learn more, there are some ideas you want to try out in other function, maybe that's an indication that it's a time to leave. However, if you have that kind of desire in this function, then maybe it's not the right time. So really focus on what you really want. What is your excitement level? What is your curiosity lies for the future for you? Not about the how much money and time and effort you invested. And being said that, this is actually very common problems that a lot of people who switch their industry experience, and it is not easy. And somebody described it as climbing up the ladder almost to the top and then climb back down and move the ladder to another position and started to climb again. And compared to the people who didn't have to move the ladder, you may feel like the time and effort of going up to the ladder before you move the ladder may be all wasted. But the thing is, it doesn't go away. It can actually help you to climb better in this second time. So don't think of it as a sunken cost, it's wasted. It'll help you no matter where you go. The next question was work life balance. We talked about setting up boundaries and saying no's and all those very good advices. But we also spent a lot of time talking about corporate situations because in corporate situations, it's harder. They don't really value how many hours you put, but they do value the output and impact. But unfortunately, to have a good output and impact, oftentimes you need to spend a lot of hours. So, how do we do the work life balance? There are two things that we shared as advice. One is really focusing on the important problems. The thing is, a lot of tasks that's given to you is actually not that important. That may be because the people who gave you the task was not really the expert who knows what's the best solution and just throwing out some ideas that came to them, but not necessarily the best solution. Or sometimes they just didn't have time to really think deeply and just came to you as the first thing they come to their mind. Or sometimes one person thinks it's the most important thing in the whole world and then really emphasize how important it is, but nobody else in the company cares. And that's really unfortunate because even though you have really spent a lot of hours and have good results, if most of the companies don't think it's worth or impactful for the company, they will discount your effort. So learn what's really important for your industry, your function, and what's the biggest problem they're trying to solve. and go directly to the problem. What's the best solution for that? And what can you do about it? And then you can choose exactly how you want to help. And that means you have a lot more control over you. And whatever you do will be like a huge impact for the company. And the second is managing your work intensity. The level of pressure that company is putting onto you is pretty much consistent throughout the year. But we are not machines and we cannot work on the same intensity all the times. And that's the reason often people run into burnout. So you need to be able to have some high intensity and low intensity to relax and recharge, and then go high intensity and low intensity. And the company will not really tell you to do so or say when is a good time to go high intensity and low intensity. They always say go high intensity. So you need to decide how you are going to have that high intensity, low intensity in your life. So one example is when somebody joins a new function, new team, or new company, or when they start a new project, they spend more effort to ramp up quickly and start to deliver the output. And then once it started to have momentum, then slow down a little bit. And another example is there are people who work harder and have a lot of results out before the long vacation. And then once they come back, they will started to release them. So while they're releasing them, they have time to recover from the vacation, catch up with all the communications. But still, you are releasing the results. So from other people's eyes, you only have downtime during the vacations. And these are just examples, and you can come up with more ways that it helps you to control your work intensity to have better work life balance. Next question was, how is physics really helping you in your industry career? And for the panelists who's in industry, we all feel the benefit of studying physics. For example, we studied very complex problem solving in physics. So in industry, any complex problems, we are good at solving them. And also we have confidence. Like there's complex problems, bring it on. We have confidence that we can solve those. So it's a really good thing to have. A lot of benefit we got from studying physics. And also we talked about how people have respect on people who studied physics as smart people. But we also talked about how pure science, like physics, is not supposed to be useful. Useful is for engineering or business oriented kind of majors, but pure sciences, they are not necessarily for useful. It can be useful later. You have discovery, and then later new technology was developed based on those discoveries, and then people's life can change. But the physicists who had that discovery, their goal was not to change people's life. Their goal was, I'm curious. It's a really curious driven field. So we talked about how if you don't have the curiosity and that is not really fun for you, then maybe pure science is not the right thing for you. But if you enjoy it, you have fun, and you get a lot of value while studying physics, and then you later change the industry, no matter where you go, your physics education will benefit you. And the last question was, what is your advice to your younger self or the students? And there are two things that came out from 3 out of 5 panelists. One is don't spend too much time worrying about what is the right path and wrong path, because eventually they will lead you to the same place, and it's just a matter of which path you are taking, and both of them will have pros and cons. So no matter which path you took, you'll have fun and you'll get a benefit from it. The other advice was try a lot of things and experiment. If you have a curiosity in something outside of physics, don't suppress it and thinking, oh, I'm a physicist, I need to focus on physics. Try it out. You may like things that you didn't think you would like. You may actually not end up liking the things that you thought you would like. We don't know about ourselves as much as we think we are. So try it out and do experiment and collect data points about you. And as you have more and more data points about you, you know yourself better. And that will also help you to choose the better path for you in the future too. So these are the kind of things we discussed. Hopefully it was interesting to you and helpful in some way. And if you agree with something or if you don't agree with something, please share with us. I'm curious to hear. Thank you for listening.